Hi, my name is Celia Christensen, and I'm here today with the Citizens Utility Board, or Cobb.
Hi, my name is Anna Warnock, and I also work for the Citizens Utility Board. We are a watchdog for utility customers in the state of Illinois, and we've been fighting for consumer rights for about 26 years now.
We were established in 1984 by the Illinois legislature through the Citizens Utility Board Act. We have about 23 employees, and we're located in downtown Chicago. Besides fighting rate hikes, we also offer consumer protection services. This includes anyone can call in and actually have your bill looked at. If you have an issue with it, we can file a complaint for utilities for you.
Yes, we have a consumer hotline. It's completely free, and the number you can call is 1-800-669-5556. And like Celia says, you can file complaints or inquiries about your utility services, gas, electricity, and telephone. We can also give lots of advice on how to keep those bills low, especially during these hard times. We also do community outreach. We go out to the community, give speeches, and in order to give this information to consumers so that they can take advantage and be able to afford their services.
We also offer a phone bill analysis. You can call our 800 number, as Ani said, and get a free phone bill analysis because AT&T is one of the regulated utilities that we do fight against when they try to raise your rates. We also advocate for energy efficiency because we believe that energy efficiency is a good way to lower the demand for electricity, which also protects consumers and lowers our rates.
Yep, and not to mention, you're going to see just by changing your patterns, following our simple tips that sometimes are not going to cost you a dime, can end up saving you lots of money. So stay tuned, we have more to come.
This is a distribution of your energy in an average home. So like almost 30% goes into the heating, 17% in the cooling, water heating 14%, appliances 13%, lighting 12%, electronics 4%, and others 11%. So where we're going to do most of the saving is over there on that 29%, so our furnaces, our water heaters, the cooling, the air conditioners in the summer. I'm not going to go too much in the cooling since we're in the cold period right now. And then the appliances and the lighting, those two. One of the reasons we gave you these energy efficiency light bulbs is because we have seen how customers can save lots of money. We don't have just 1 or 2 light bulbs at home, $50 is basically more or less the average that you can save during the lifetime of a bulb. And so add 50, 50, 50, 50, you start seeing lots of savings. I'm going to focus on the savings on the appliances part and on the heating and electronics. So one concept, I don't know, are you guys familiar with the phantom load or vampire power? What do you know about it?
This past fall, I saw those advertisements in the city on the transit billboards about vampires. You had to have seen them too. They were about machines in your own home sucking money from you. After I saw this, I decided to turn off the surge protector where my TV, stereo, and DVD player were hooked in. I would turn off the surge protector when I wasn't using the equipment. The next time I got my electric bill, there was about a $20 difference. I will do this forever.
Okay, perfect. So basically, the energy that you're using, which by the way is 70% of the energy that you're using when your appliances or your electric devices are plugged in, however they're off, they're still using that energy. There's still energy flowing, 70% of it. So we're wasting about $100 a year per household just because we have the cell phone chargers, the blenders, the coffee maker, the microwave, all of these things. Actually, there's an interesting fact that we use more energy in the light or the clock that's on our microwave than the energy we use cooking or warming food on our microwaves in a year. So that's how much we waste in with this vampire power. With
related to that, or?
we recommend that the big appliances, they stay plugged in because you need them like that. But the little ones, like the computer, the chargers, the Nintendo or Xboxes, all that stuff, they don't need to be plugged on a regular basis. And even if you did want to have them plugged, what you can do is use a smart power strip, or just a regular power strip for those of you who don't want to, invest a little more. So basically what you would do, you have your things plugged or your devices plugged in, but all you have to do is press the button on, press the button off, and that's the end of it. But we don't recommend that you plug and unplug the big appliances like the refrigerator, the washers, and the dryers. And I mean, those are things that you're using more or less on a regular basis, especially the refrigerator.
Right.
But one
washer
thing,
and dryer, I could see unplugged.
you could put it on a power strip, so when you're not using it, turn the button off. That's safer. Routers? Yep. But the thing I've heard about them, a lot of people, they find it inconvenient that when they plug it off, then they have to wait, like a minute or so for it to reset. So if you don't mind that, cool. But if you do, then, you can leave it on. And actually, speaking of refrigerators, they're huge energy waste. If you have like a really old refrigerator, a lot of us, we have 2 refrigerators or 2 freezers, and it's like, well, that one's for the basement for the beers and stuff. It's like, you know what, you can do without it. And actually, I think Celia mentioned how ComEd can actually pay you to get rid of it, and it's really a lot of waste of energy just having that old refrigerator or freezer. So I would totally get rid of it. Here are the recommendations to solve that vampire power problem.
I work as a community coordinator and Hispanic relations coordinator at the Citizens Utility Board, and part of my job is to go out to the community to be able to inform customers about the different services that they have: gas, electricity, and telephone. I want to make sure that consumers know and understand their bills, because oftentimes what we do is we pay our utility bills and we don't even know what they mean or how to understand them. Other times we have problems and we don't know who to go to or what to do. So that's why I like to go out to the community, give this information so that consumers know about their rights, and they can also take advantage about the tips that we give them and be able to save money on their utility services.
A couple of alerts, little details to look at when you receive their bills. So from this group, who actually pays a gas bill, a telephone bill, or an electric bill? Okay, good. So as utility customers, the first thing when you get your bill, you're all excited, yay, it's time to pay the bill. So besides feeling that, what do you look at when you get the bill? The amount, yes. So oftentimes consumers look at the bills and they say, well, this is the amount, let's go ahead, write the check. We complain about it, how expensive it is and all this, and then that's the end of it until next month, right? So what I usually recommend to consumers is to take a look at your bills, meaning to not only look at the charges, but to look at the little details. Your billing cycle, who's the account holder, the energy usage on the bill, the price per unit, whether the readings were estimated or actual. All of this is very important, number one, because if there's a problem and you don't know this information, it's going to be pretty difficult to relay the problem or express yourself with the representative. All you're going to be able to say is like, look, my bill's super high, what's the problem? you know. But if you know that there's something odd, you can tell them, look, I'm disputing this period to this period. I'm disputing this amount because I don't think that this is my normal usage. You know, if I normally use 80 kilowatt hours and all of a sudden I get a bill for 200 kilowatt hours, I mean, what, am I running a bakery here or something? Like, what's going on, right? So those are very important things that we should be looking at. The next thing is, I wanted to ask you, true or false? Can the company bill you for estimated readings? True or false? I see some true and some false. So the answer to that is true. The company can bill you for estimated readings. True or false? Should the company give you actual meter readings every other month? Yes. So that is correct. There's a little contradiction because on one hand they're saying, you know, we can bill you for estimated readings, and on the other hand they're saying, well, we should actually bill you for actual usage. But the thing is that most of the times, especially with ComEd, we've been receiving tons of complaints with consumers getting estimated readings. And what happens is, a lot of times they're being overbilled. And we all know that it's, you know, who wants to be paying for services that they haven't used? But on the other hand, a lot of people are underbilled. And we can say, oh, well, good. The company is doing me a favor because they're not charging me what they're supposed to be charging me, so I get a free ride. Not exactly. The company can bill you for services in the past, so retroactively. So if you, and the gas company too, if you haven't paid the usage that you've actually consumed in 6 months, imagine getting a $1,000 bill all at once. And even though the company has to give you a payment plan in order to try to fix the problem, it's still a huge burden. Who wants to pay $1,000 plus your current bills, right? That's a huge burden. So that's why we should pay attention and make sure that they're giving you actual meter readings, and if they're not, file a complaint. And also we gave you a little fact sheet that tells you how to read your meter. It's super easy, and you can call in the meter reading as well. One thing to keep in mind, it's in the packet. One thing to keep in mind is that the utility companies, they do not work like the credit card companies where they give you like a 16-day period where you can pay your bills. Here, you're 1 day late and they can disconnect your service. As easy as that. And they're allowed to. So if we're having difficulties, make sure to get in touch with the company as soon as possible and ask them to give you a payment plan, make some sort of arrangements with them, because if you do not do that, they can go ahead and disconnect the service. You should actually keep your bills, especially if you're moving a lot, because oftentimes when you move and you ask the company to end the service, or not even end the service, you're saying, well, I'm moving, and you assume the company is going to disconnect the service, end it, close it, but no, that doesn't translate to them all the times. And then you end up stuck with 2 different bills, and you don't even know it until maybe 2 years or 5 years down the road, and then you've been charged for the previous house, and then you have all this bad credit and all this huge issue. And so it's always important to make sure to end your service and to get a final bill, and before they issue you that final bill, to get a final actual meter reading, because you don't want to be stuck with an estimate reading. Okay? So those are little tips that you should keep in mind to avoid billing problems, to avoid getting in trouble with the utility companies. Two little tips I want to give you as far as the services. Like the telephone, or unlike the telephone, we don't have many options. You know, with the telephone we can say, well, we don't want caller ID, we don't want voicemail, blah, 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 and all these services. With the gas and the electricity, you know, it's pretty much we have to pay for the services, and there are not many options. However, with the gas service, there is an optional insurance, and it's a maintenance insurance that covers the pipes inside of the home and repairs of any gas leaks inside of the home. The thing is that this insurance is not free. It's some companies charge you about $5 a month, about $60 a year, and these are companies that are not regulated. So here they are making tons of money. You know, this one in particular, Nycor Services, makes about $2 million a month, and the only thing they have to spend in repairs is $50,000. So you do the math. Here they are charging $5 a month instead of charging 30 cents, you know, to the customer. So again, and then here the average repair is $47, but then the insurance, the yearly insurance costs $60. So how does that work where we end up paying more for the insurance than for the repair? Shouldn't it be the opposite? So that's an optional choice. And another option would be the alternative gas suppliers. So with that, here in Illinois, customers have the option to receive their services from the utility company. And if you guys live in Chicago, it would be People's Gas. And if you live in the suburbs, it would be Nycor Gas. But if you don't want to purchase the gas from the utility company, you can go with another company, one that's not regulated. And basically what that means is that they mark up the prices and they resell it to the customer. We have an online tool. It's called the Gas Market Monitor. And we've evaluated all the offers in the market, in the Illinois market, gas market. And we've realized that 93% of these offers are money-losing offers. So basically, the customer ends up overpaying, and you know, really, what's the point of having an alternative or options if you're going to end up worse off? So I would stay away from those alternative gas suppliers.
I am an energy attorney and outreach associate with Cobb, so I do litigation related to energy efficiency with the utility companies, and I also work in the outreach department by giving speaking engagements and working at various events that promote what we support at the Citizens Utility Board, which is protecting consumers.
So your colleague asks, like, if she goes on vacation or you guys go on vacation, what would be the recommendation? You don't want to leave the thermostat at 65 or 70, right? You want to keep it at the lowest. So you can leave it at 48, and she was pointing out that you do not want to turn it off, because what happens is the pipes are going to freeze, and when you come back it's going to be a disaster. So just keep it at the lowest temperature. I think 48 is pretty, you know, good temperature. The pipes won't freeze, and if you want to keep it higher, that's fine, but that just means that it will be running. But at the same time too, with the thermostat, the programmable thermostat, if you leave it at 48 degrees, as soon as the temperature reaches that, the thing will shut off, and it'll go up and down, so you won't have that problem. Okay, low cost actions, very important. Weatherize your home with little simple tools that they sell at the dollar store, at the Home Depot and these other like Ace. You can buy the window plastics, the ceilings, the caulk, all of that. Why? Because it's amazing how the cold air comes in the house and how the warm air can escape. It's not just the traditional windows and doors where we see those draft of airs coming or going, but it's also the walls. It's incredible. The attics, the basements, the mirrors on our bathrooms. I mean, it's amazing. And why? Because all of this has to be insulated. The older our houses are, the chances are that a lot of these weatherization is super old or deteriorated. But amazingly enough, there are new constructions that are so poorly weatherized that it could be brand new, 2010, and you could just feel the drafts through the walls. So you have to, pay attention to that. Actually, they have a very cool tool out there where you could see the inside of the wall. I should actually bring it. And you plug it in the air. You see how the air just flows through the insulation, but whereas the special
One low-cost way to save money on heating costs during the cold and windy months is to insulate your windows. Now, you only need 3 tools. The first, a blow dryer, scissors, and a tape measure. Now the first step is to measure the windows. have 24.5 inches by 64 inches. Now that you have your measurements, you'll need an insulation kit. You can buy a window insulation kit from a home or hardware store. The tape will stick to the window if you prepare it properly. I will be putting the tape around the edge of the window because I have blinds. But before I do that, I want to make sure the tape will stick. So, I will be cleaning that area with a diluted household cleaner. You want to make sure to get all the areas, make sure they're really nice and clean. It will really help the tape stay up better. Even up here in the corners. It's not too hard to do, and it'll make the tape stay up a lot longer. So now the window looks and feels dry, so it's time to put up the tape. I like to start in the corner of one end and then slowly work my way down. What's important is to make sure the tape lines up pretty even. And if it doesn't, you can take it off and fix it pretty easily. So you want to press firmly down the window. And if you do this, it's not too hard. Once you get to the coat. Now to cut the film, I'm going to be using a cutting board that I normally use to cut fabric. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. All you have to do is just find a space large enough in your home where you can measure out the film. And then use a tape measure to size the cut. Now one important thing to remember is that when you're measuring how much film you need for the window, make sure to add an extra inch to your measurements all the way around. My window is 24.5 inches wide and 64 inches long. But I'm going to cut a piece that is 27 inches wide and 67 inches long. This gives you extra room to maneuver. I'm going over the 1 inch recommendation because I like a lot of room. Afterwards, I'll just cut off the extra piece. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes and I started taking the paper backing off of the tape. What's important to remember when you're doing this is you want to really try to separate it at the corner. You can use your nail to pry it apart, and it should come off super easy once you get it separated at the corner. And then you want to slowly follow it up so it doesn't pull the tape down with it, and there you go, the paper's off. Okay, so before you apply the film, you want to make sure to hold the plastic in the upper corners. And you also want to make sure to leave an inch both ways for an overlap. So you're going to maneuver in here and place the upper corners on the top of the tape. And you can firmly press it down on the top. Now as you go down, you want to make sure it's a little bit more even than I have it now. and you want to firmly press it down as you go down. It might be helpful to tug it a little bit on the corners and on the sides so it's a little bit smoother. Also, try to make sure there's no overlap in the plastic. Again, you just want to firmly press it down, smoothing it out. Working your way down slowly but evenly. There you go. And then press down in the corners and work your way on the bottom of the window. Tugging a little bit to try to get rid of some of the air that is caught. Okay. There you go. It's on pretty tight, pretty smooth. Now, one of the last steps in our process is making sure that the plastic is tight on the window so it really keeps the heat inside and the cold outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow dry the plastic and make sure that the setting is on the highest setting. You're going to start in the corner and work your way throughout the whole window. So let's turn this on. Okay, we are almost done. The last step is to cut off the extra plastic that is on after you have sealed the window. You can use a razor blade, but personally I like to use scissors. So you just start on one end, just work your way up. Because it's really smooth. It's pretty easy to just slide the scissors right up through the window. Make sure to get all the way up to the corner. And there you go. It really isn't that difficult to seal the windows. And it doesn't take a long time to finish. If it seems overwhelming, plan on doing 2 to 3 windows a day until they are all finished. The benefits in comfort and energy savings is well worth it.
You should check out our Cobb Energy Saver website. We've designed it especially to give customers easy tips, no cost, low cost, or investments, like the high energy efficiency appliances, etc. And basically, it's not just saying, well, do this, but it's telling you exactly how much money you can save by following those recommendations. And not only that, as a bonus, since it's connected to your energy bill, your ComEd bill, if indeed you follow those recommendations and they do see a decrease in kilowatt hours, you actually can get points and you can get rewards for that. So kind of like the